Yeah, I don't know how much of this we should share because it's Patreon stuff.
Who cares?
Anyway.
Like that was incredibly vague.
If you want to watch this, watch our fucking sign up to our Patreon and listen to that game.
Yeah,
I
I think
totally listen
it's
to that game, and it's so good. Oh, you don't want to miss it.
You
don't
liar! You
listen
don't
to
listen
noobs'
to it at all.
lies.
You listen to it about as much as I listen to the Noob Show.
And it's not okay. I'm gonna put this out there, and it's not that I don't even want to watch our shows. I really like our shows, but I've also been following like 4 other podcasts since I've been, listening to podcasts. So it's kind of hard to
4.
fit those in. That's what I listen to on like my daily commutes and stuff.
I know, but I listen to
Yeah.
podcasts like all the time. Like I drive for a living, so I have like
Well, yeah.
I have like at least 4 daily.
Yeah, I'm same. I've got my hour-long commute is just the start of my windshield time when I'm working. The rest of my day is spent driving janitorial supplies around this humidity hellscape that is Jacksonville, like some sort of lame-ass Santa Claus dropping off soaps and paper towel and toilet paper to companies.
You're shitty Santa.
Yeah, I'm shitty Santa.
Last March, you had to be the most welcome person around. What are you talking about?
Oh, I had a lady sing a song when I walked through the door because she was so excited to see me bringing
I can
toilet
wipe
paper.
my butt now. My butt is dirty.
I was like, "Hey, all right, I'm here for it." Sure. Never had anybody be this excited to see me, and I own dogs.
They're excited to see Scott, not your coworker, the paper towel.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, speaking of Scott, I've never been to the Green Dragon and seen him. For all I know, he doesn't exist.
Oh, he exists.
He's there in the mornings.
I know. I never go there in the mornings because I'm one of those people that wake up at like anywhere between 11 o'clock and 3 p.m. Because that's just how I live my life. Thanks for cooking.
I went to bed at 4:30 last night.
Like in the morning?
Working on this
Jesus.
character, and I woke up at 8.
You
I was
you
like,
stayed up.
"Shit, I'm late for work."
You stayed up an additional 3 hours working on a character after I
Yeah.
went to bed.
That's how it happens. I do
Yeah.
that shit too, Frakes. It's like, oh man, this would be cool, and then I add this in, and then oh my god, this is awesome, and then I'm just in. Next thing you know, it's 3 hours later.
I get frustrated after a half an hour of character building. I'm like, ugh, come
I
back to it later.
turned on John Oliver on YouTube, and next thing I know, 2 hours had gone by, and I'm picking out gear and I'm selecting feats. And I'm like, oh shit.
I never once purposefully clicked on a John Oliver video, but somehow my YouTube keeps feeding me toward them. I don't know.
Dude, I love John Oliver.
I mean, his
Funny.
clips are all right. I just, he's just, I mean, and the information he does is good and all that stuff. And he's kind of funny, but something about that really obnoxious British guy voice he has. Just,
I get it. He's probably my favorite news with finger quotes.
news.
Infotainment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. Also, I was a little disappointed to learn that his wife's a Republican. Like, what?
Oh, that's probably half of why he does the show then.
Yeah, just to piss her off.
Just to fuck with her.
This is going to annoy my wife incredibly.
How good is that ass? That's the question. Like, well, she's kind of a fascist, but
Hey, that pussy
Maybe.
ain't fascist.
Maybe it's how good is his dick that she sticks around.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard good things about the Brits. Not from the neck up.
It's more like the neck up is fine. It's when you get to like right above the jaw and in between the nose and jaw. That's where it gets a little messed up. You know what? I can fucking say that because it's the 4th of July. So for today, all you Brits can suck my dick. It'll be like wet tea, bitch.
Fuck off, George the Third. We owned you.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy Trader Day from all us ungrateful colonists.
I actually have a friend who has split citizenship between England and America, so I had to message him this morning, letting him know that he's a fucking failure and that America is back-to-back WW2 champs.
WW3, probably not.
Yeah, not yet.
That's going to be China. I'm putting my money on China on that one.
I don't know.
I mean, they could just build a literal people shield around all their cities, just have them human pyramid to the sky and
Well, you know,
bombs that way.
America won every war until it started classifying things as not wars.
That's true.
So we messed up. We had no business in Vietnam.
No, of course not.
Like, I'm really, really thankful for those vets and doing what they did, but we had no business over there. And that's why we fucking lost. You would think we would have learned from our own mistakes. That's how we got to be a country, was going against the tyrant as farmers, and we won.
Yeah.
Well, now we're the tyrant people go against and perpetually lose to. Or actually, not really lose to, just sort of get mired in 20-year-long conflicts of attrition, then we never leave. Anyway, but enough about that. This is America Day.
Yeah. And
Speaking of that,
thinking,
Happy 4th of July. Ignore the imperialism, please.
please ignore
the imperialism.
We are not responsible. I mean, we three are not responsible.
None of us have even a sniff of association with the military or the government.
Yeah, and our government has complete disregard for our voices as citizens. So
it's true. That's why we elected Joe Biden. He's hard of hearing on purpose.
Oh, let's move away from politics. I can hear Mahogany just in the background yelling at us. No! So, do you guys, for the main game, do you guys already have backup characters for that again?
I do.
Maybe not Frakes, because, you just made one.
Yeah,
that episode's out, I can say that.
If I have to make another character immediately after making this character, I don't know. I guess I'll just min-max the shit out of something.
Fighter. Just do fighters.
Just
what do you want?
have a cycle of fighters.
Yeah.
What are your stats? All 8s except for a 25 constitution.
Yeah. Oh, what do you play? A kineticist.
Really good at living.
They are constitution casters.
I really want to play one.
Yeah.
You're basically a bender from Avatar, and that is awesome.
It's basically when they are,
A bender from Avatar who's just solid jacked.
Well, you have to hurt yourself to cast spells.
Yeah, exactly. But
it
only
is all
non-lethal.
Yeah.
So you fall unconscious, you don't die.
Yeah, actually, a little non-lethal onto your character sheet probably would save a lot of people more than it would kill.
Mm-hmm. Unless your DM coup de grace you. Well, yeah, I mean, and that's not an indictment against you because that's what we were doing.
Oh no, I thought it was you were pointing the finger, like, and then your DM coup de grace you.
No.
When you're at your most vulnerable.
That was completely deserved.
Because I think I already have my concept for my backup character, and I've never played monk, so I'm gonna make a unchained monk. What's it, the wind step or the wind touch monk that lets you pretty much just walk on air?
Oh.
But I want him to be a sumo wrestler. So I want this very large 400-pound man that walks on air.
You want to do the E Honda air spin? Is that what this is about?
Yep. That's what
I didn't
this
think
is
about that, but now I do.
Is his name going to be like Jay Suzuki?
E Honda, A Toyota.
Yeah.
Richard Toyota.
Richard.
My parents were both from the islands, but I was raised in America. Richard Toyota.
You say that, but now that's what's gonna be. You're making my backstory for me. Well, the only reason I want to do like a sumo wrestler is because
you want to annoy Toker with grapple rules. I forgot who the hell.
No, I'm not fucking with grapple.
That's what sumo wrestling is.
Yeah,
no, they do palm strikes and they're forceful.
They grapple and slap and reposition.
Which sounds way sexier than it actually looks.
The only reason they grapple is because that's like the rules. I feel like if a sumo wrestler was actually about to fight somebody, they would crush you. Like they would just fucking slap the shit out of you until you're done. You're done.
Is there like a belly flop special attack feat?
It's all flavor text.
Slam.
But I got I really got into sumos about a year or two ago. It was before the pandemic. But I was about to go in for tooth surgery, and I just stayed up all night learning about sumo wrestlers and its history.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Awesome.
It's fascinating.
It's one of the
weird.
oldest sports in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The reason they're all so fat is because it's the only like physical sport with no weight class.
Yeah.
So the best way to win is to be big as possible.
Huh.
And
Also, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you finish.
I was
I'm
going to
gonna go
talk
on.
about. I was going to talk about Japan's national like health law that if you have a certain percentage of body fat or a certain measurements, you get put on a program that the government's like, no, we're going to run you. We're going to make you lift weights. We're going to make you do exercises until you get fit. We can't have fatties in this country unless you do sumo.
Welcome to Japan. No fatties.
I wish America would do that, please.
Yeah.
Put me on a program. I'm fine with
Yeah.
that. Help me.
I don't really want to jog at gunpoint, thanks. Because that's
Well,
how we
it's-
do it.
Yeah, that's how we do it. Yeah. But even the sumo, once they reach Yokozuna level or the maximum level, and they are no longer allowed to compete.
They kick you off out of Japan because the island starts sinking.
No, they put you on the program and they bring your weight back down to a healthy level in a healthy way.
Well, here's one of my favorite facts. I don't remember his name, but one of the Yokozuna is one of the tops. He was 350 pounds and
Jeez, I outweigh him.
10% body fat.
Yeah, just a
What?
beast of muscle.
He was a monster. No, you think that's not fat. That's just like what's on the outside. Sumos are
Yeah.
muscles.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it is. I love sumo wrestling. Also, when you do a match, it's not like a best 2 out of 3. It is a 1v1, first person to go down. That's it.
Yep.
There's no redos. There's no mulligans. It is a 1v1.
1 out of 1 fall, huh?
Yeah. And
Nice.
if you fall, you're it.
No, I was just gonna say how they're like the world's strongest men competition.
Mm-hmm.
How those dudes just look like medicine balls, but they're just dense with muscle, and they can pick up a car
Yeah.
like over their head, deadlift a fucking Yugo. If anybody remembers what Yugos are,
I do.
Honda
Kinda
Civic. There we go. They can deadlift a Honda Civic.
Dude,
I liked Yugos. They were weird looking. I thought that was kind of cool. But
Yeah.
I was a weird kid anyway, so
My first car that I bought was a Audi Quattro GT.
Pussy wagon.
It was a 1985. I bought this thing in 2006, 7, somewhere in there. And it was a really boxy, the 1980s Audis, you know how they look like a box on wheels.
Those are awesome looking.
Oh, it was great. And it could outrun anything. It was super fast. Unfortunately, it was the very rare 2-door edition, which was only built for 2 years out of spare parts at the Audi factory. Not even kidding. That's what it was.
Awesome.
I didn't realize that this was a vintage rare car.
until you wrecked it.
No, I never wrecked it. But when I drove it from Georgia to South Carolina to see my dad, the CV axle blew out as soon as I got home. And we had to take it to a racing specialist to build a custom CV axle because we couldn't get the parts. They were not on the market at all. So we had to custom build a CV axle just for me to drive it home for it to die in Atlanta. It was like,
How much did
well,
that cost?
$1,500. Should have known.
My first car was $900. It was a brown 1982 Camaro. The only year
Nice.
they made Camaros with a 4-cylinder. I had to crank it. I had to crank it most times with a screwdriver by upping the hood and touching the contacts on the starter together.
My speaking of first cars, mine was a 1996 Buick LeSabre. And fucking awesome car. I wish the engine ran forever. The reason I had to get rid of it is because the seals around the door were bad. So every time it rained, it became a swamp in my floorboards.
Oh, that's
So I had
good
to, like,
smell.
Yeah, it was a moldy, but I loved that car. I get it over 100 and just feels like it's floating.
Yeah, Buicks make good cars, man.
Weak.
So
Underappreciated.
as a teenager, 17 years old, my dad says, "Hey, come with me. We're going to go get your first car." First car he bought me. He's like, "But I need you to do some work for me." So he had me. He was a electrician who would set up like posts, and so I had to dig a hole, set the post, run the wires. I was helping him do all that, and he's like, "All right, there's your car." And he pointed into the woods about 150 yards, and there was a car that had been laid up since the early 90s in the woods, flat tires, mold growing over the windows. We had to use a come along to drag it out of the bog that it was stuck in. And then we towed it home on a trailer. And the whole time I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'd be pissed too.
What did he pay for it? What did he pay for it? Like $50 to have it, to move it?
It was 150 is what he got it for.
What kind of car was it?
Ford Fairmont.
What the fuck is that?
I'm gonna look this up.
Look this car up. Ford Fairmont. I said the Audi looks like a box on wheels. This looks like a box of toilet paper on wheels. Its equivalent was the 2-door equivalent of it was the Mercury Zephyr.
What the hell's that?
So for the next 6 months, my dad and I,
Oh,
that is absolutely it. It wasn't the station wagon one.
That is a 70s detective show chase car.
Yes, it was. So wait, no, go back to that.
You were drowning in pussy in that car. I guarantee it. Like that, you can't get laid in that car. You also, to start this car, you have to have a mustache and only a mustache. If you don't, it won't start.
Second row down, fourth picture in was my car.
I'm gonna save this. Is gonna be
the yellow one.
Yes, it was beige as you could get.
Is this a picture of Wellsboro High School? I can't tell.
That might be actually my car.
Also, if you want to know what this car looks like, it is going to be the preview picture for Noob Show for this episode.
Okay. Awesome.
So that way, the visual joke will kind of roll into that.
Good. Just to paint a picture here, the headliner was drooping so that it touched my head. Fortunately, my family had a jar of brass tacks just that we'd saved for some reason. So I had me and my friends tack up the headliner with brass tacks. So it looked like the ceiling was upholstered. This thing was it was my favorite car I ever drove. I put a system in it by trading my bass guitar for an amp and a thumping speaker system. So I would roll around town blasting the most offensive ICP I could find.
So all of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
I had that car for about a year until I was going to my watermelon picking job over the summer. Stayed up smoking dope until about 2 a.m. the night before.
Watermelon picking job is now the episode name, just so you know.
That works. So at 4 o'clock, after 2 hours of sleep, I load up in this car and I'm driving out to the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Walterboro, Williams, actually.
Ugh.
Yeah, Terance knows where that is. And I fell asleep at the wheel, blasting Pantera.
How do you do that? Yeah, it's like, how did you manage that?
All the windows were 2 hours of sleep, man. 2 hours of sleep, and I had sleep apnea. So all the windows were down.
So not only were you sleeping, but you're also suffocating while you drove.
Kept waking up. I woke up about 30 feet away from the first tree that I hit with that car. And flipped it, turned it around backwards, totaled it. I broke the frame of that steel monstrosity. Ugh. Came out without a scratch. My seatbelt broke on contact with the first tree, and I rolled around the inside of the car with all the windows down, but I was too big to fall out of any of them.
And this whole time he was sleeping. He was so tired.
The only injury I got from that was scraping my knees on the brass tacks that had fallen out of the headliner. I had to pull one out of my skin.
And
it made you look upholstered.
That's a charming story. Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
Terance, what was your first car?
I just told you. It was terrible. It was an 82 Camaro.
That's right. How'd you lose it?
I didn't. I had it for years and years and years until finally I just sold it.
Was that the one you were still driving the game? Like when we knew you?
No, that was a different. That was
okay.
That was a Nissan initially, and then that idiot ran off the interstate. I've had a lot of cars, and all of them have been terrible. I've never had a new car ever. So
I got my first new car in 2018 because I drive a bunch from back and forth to work, and I put 100 miles on the odometer a day. So it's like I need something that will last.
How old were you
when I got my first new car?
Yep.
2018. So hold on, let me do some quick math. 23, 22, 21, like 20 then.
Holy shit! You got your car 15. You got your first new car 15 years before I was able to get my first new car.
Well, the only reason I was able to is because I didn't have any credit. So my grandmother signed and I co-signed, so I was able to get credit. I was able to afford the car. It's just getting a rate that's decent enough to be able to pay for it yourself.
Yeah.
And then I also went through her insurance. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I also don't have rent because my land's paid off, so I'm able to afford that. It helps a bunch when you don't have that. So
that's a valid point.
Yeah. Everybody's like, why do you drive an hour to work every day? Because I don't have to pay $1,600 for a shitty 2-bedroom apartment.
You'd rather pay $40 a week in gas. It's not that much.
Yeah, I'd rather do that.
I saw a rental statement from 1980s New York.
Oh God,
$170 a month.
That must be
for
nice.
an apartment in New York City. I mean, it wasn't Manhattan. It was like the Bronx, but
yeah, but still.
Yeah, but still, $170 a month.
In Charleston, you can't get a 1-bedroom for under $1,000 a month.
You can't even get a hand job for $175. Like,
yeah.
Yes, I can. I know Terance down the road.
No, in Charleston.
Oh, in Charleston, yeah, it's like.
I mean, I can get a hand job in Charleston for free if I just go to the Chili's bathroom and handle it myself.
That's not called a hand. Never mind.
I sit on the hand first, so it feels like somebody else.
There's the extra work. There's where you're cutting corners.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put the extra work in to get the benefit.
It's like rolling your own cigarette.
Yeah. Kind of.
I don't think it's anything like any of those things.
It costs extra work. It's not as good, but it still gets the job done. I think it's the same.
So what would you like in all seriousness, like what kind of character would you make if your character suddenly died after only 2 sessions?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, that is a good question.
So let's just go ahead and say this. We're about to play Toker's game right after this, Yarnum.
Oh yeah.
Let's just say
I might die. We had a cliffhanger where I was in trouble.
So let's just say, Frakes, something happens, you die like 10 minutes in. What are you gonna do?
Gonna go get some Thai food, probably.
I meant character-wise, you ass.
Well, I got 2 weeks to make a new character, so I'll figure it out then. Well, no, I started. My process is I first have to think of a voice, then I have to think of a class that fits that voice.
You have the weirdest process.
Then I have to decide what kind of archetype fits with the voice that I'm going with. Unfortunately,
You have a very elaborate thing going there.
I overthink so much. It's ridiculous. My biggest problem is going to be not mixing up my new character's voice with my other new character's voice because they're very similar.
Oh, are they? You're not going with the Swedish thing?
No. I did that for Troika. It is very hard to sound intimidating when you sound like this.
Yeah, you're like Stimpy's cousin.
I'm going to slit your nostrils.
That's very specific. Lord, what was?
But
Go ahead, Frakes.
and I was just trying to answer your question. I don't know. I mean, I've played a paladin before, and they're okay. Clerics are kind of fun, but they seem to lack a little of the oomph that I'm looking for. I'd probably make a swashbuckler for our main game if I die.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
See, my process is completely different, I guess, if you could even call it a process. I come up with the character I want to play in my head, and then I fucking try to figure out how to make it
See,
with the mechanics.
and see, that's where I vary from y'all too as well. I start with the mechanics, and then I build the character around that.
No, that's why all my characters seem weird and like hodgepodge, because they are. I have a checklist of things I'd like to do with the character. I'm like, well, I can't do that within this class. So if I take a little bit of this class.
But that makes me want to ask you another question. What was the first role-playing game character you had that died? The first one. Because I remember mine. It was Jacob. He was doing a module for Pathfinder. And I essentially tried to make Captain America. I was trying to make a dude that could shield bash, who could throw a shield off of walls and bounce back. It was just a shitty character, and that's why it didn't work out. So that was my own fault, and that's why I died. I wasn't super attached to him. Like I haven't had a character that I'm super attached to died yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of my characters just don't die. I usually most of the time the first character I make lasts the campaign. In most cases.
Well, look who knows how to make good characters.
No, look who knows how to stay out of fucking trouble. That's what that is. But yeah, I can't remember the first one I had that died. That didn't come back from that didn't get resurrected.
Yeah, that's kind of my same thing. I honestly believe Akage is the first character who did not get resurrected ultimately or reincarnated.
No, he did. He just didn't last very long.
No, and I know ultimately, like he was not a good character objectively.
Well, you just didn't like the way he was built.
No, I didn't like his mechanic.
I know what you mean.
Like the challenge mechanic that you can do. It's basically smite, but it's shittier.
Smite, but you got to pick a guy.
And his archetype was no armor. Like he went in without any armor, but he still had a pretty decent armor class and just shit for hit points.
And you also made him run into head first to everything.
Well, I mean, that was the character. He's a warrior, poet, samurai.
He was a dope character.
I did like him. He had a lot of character
Potential.
Yeah, he had a lot of potential. But yeah, most DMs that I've ever played with have been very lenient about reincarnation rules and resurrection. It's like I might miss out on a session or two, and then I get brought back.
See, okay, so this is what makes me want to play a different character. Is there's an archetype for Druid called the Reincarnation Druid, and that is you come back to life, but you get a different race each time. Yeah. I kind of want to make a character around that, where I'm constantly dying and constantly getting a new race.
Wasn't this like a In Living Color bit, Krishna Cop?
I don't know what that is, sir.
A cop that was also a Hare Krishna.
That
whenever he would get shot, he would reincarnate as a different cop.
Oh, so he's Agent Smith.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be a cool character that every opportunity he tries to kill himself, but he just can't. I want it to be a curse, not a blessing. Like maybe if I jump in this volcano this time, I'll die. Here, hold my stuff just in case.
Yeah. And it's like, what, you get reincarnated a mile away or something?
Let me look it up. Because while I'm doing this, is there any characters you guys want to play that haven't gotten to play yet? Like any type of thing that just doesn't fit or doesn't work?
After spending most of my gaming life DMing, is a fucking fuck ton of characters I've always wanted to play and never got to.
Well, I want to play a Pickaroon, which is an archetype of swashbuckler, but because that we're in emerging guns, that doesn't really work for this setting because they are gunslinger swashbucklers. You know, they're the quintessential musketeer type who have a sword and a pistol and a flintlock, you know, tricorn hats and whatnot. But because this setting is the way it is, with just emerging guns, Stoker said nobody can be a gunslinger or have gunslinger take the amateur gunslinger feat, so no grit. And it's like, okay, that's cool.
He hates gunslingers.
Well, he had a bad experience.
He had an experience with a gunslinger
Alchemist
multi-class. The gunslinger itself is fine.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking about, like, initially when I was building my characters, just fucking with him and say, yeah, I want to be a gunslinger, but I'm doing the crossbow archetype.
The crossbow.
You should have. Oh, you should have. That'd been awesome.
I talked to him about that. I asked him if that was a possibility, and he was like, yeah, I guess so. I'm like, I'm still hitting touch.
The mini lives druid. So at 5th level, if a reincarnated druid is killed, she may automatically reincarnate as a spell. 1 day later, the reincarnated druid appears in a safe location within 1 mile of her previous body. At will for the next 7 days, she can sense the presence of her remains if using locate object as a spell-like ability. If she is killed within these 7 days, she remains dead and does not reincarnate. So yeah, so if you die within those 7 days after being reincarnated, you die. That's cool.
No, it's like the ring.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, just keep a hold of like my skull when I die, and I'll find you guys.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really cool character who's just not afraid of death, because they'll just like, oh, dude, there's this dangerous acid pit, but we need this lever at the bottom. I got it. Hold my stuff.
That would be a cool character if it wasn't a druid.
I like druids. Druids are cool.
I fucking hate druid. Druid is so boring.
I like
They're
them.
not bad. I've never played one past like level 3 though.
Like in your game, Terance, I love my druid.
I'm sure you do.
It's a lot of fun. I like your game.
That's good. Thank you. But
I like your game. I like your story. I just I'm not the biggest fan of the system. I know why we're doing it. I appreciate that we're doing it. I just 5e hasn't really appealed to me over Pathfinder, partially because of the flat math, and I like the bonuses, and I like adding all the ones and the twos together. It makes me feel a little more like I can cultivate it a little better. A +1 reflex save makes me feel better than, you get advantage on reflex. Oh, are you better at that? You get advantage on it. It's like, great, that's cool, but I like the idea of having bonuses that are inherent to my character, not just random chance.
No, I get what you mean. It's like Thieves' Tool. Like, I don't know, does Thieves' Tools give you an advantage in 5e, Terance?
No, they don't.
You just add your extra proficiency to them.
Yeah, you use your Thieves' Tool, proficiency bonus
That's what it was.
in addition to...
But I feel like
your skill proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
It's like double proficiency.
The way I think about 5e, it's like, okay, I'm good at something, so I have a plus whatever. But sometimes you can just fuck something up, and that's where I don't like the disadvantage advantage. It feels like it's a second chance instead of just like, all right, you do the thing, and you either do it or you don't.
Well, I get that. On a real point, I have started throwing axes because I went to an axe throwing place and I found out I was pretty good at it, and I enjoy it as Frakes, as a human being.
Oh, okay, sorry. We're making sure I was a little confused. It's like,
he's on a tangent.
A slight tangent, but it equates to the fucking up aspect. Like, I've gotten to the point where I can hit the target 7 out of 10 times, about where I want it to be. But every so often, 3 out of those 10 times, I'll hit handle first, or I'll hit the back of the axe first, or I'll completely miss the target. And it's just like, sometimes you just fuck up.
yeah. You didn't roll a 1 because those are when you hit the target and the axe comes back at you. That's when you roll a 1.
The bounce.
I've never rolled a critical fail on the axe throwing that I started 2 weekends ago.
And that's where your bonus comes in.
Yeah.
But no. But like I said, all in all, I do enjoy 5e. And personally, I think I do like Pathfinder more, but I do like 5e for the sense, like they give you backgrounds for your character. It feels like, what does your character want? Like, what is his flaw? And like, I can't remember. I have to look at a character sheet to remember the 3 things for it. But like, it was really fun making. In Terance's game, I made a character who was a warlock, and my curse was that I was like a very pretty boy, but that I got caught cheating with the fake creature, and he stole my body. So now I'm like in service as a scarecrow until I can earn my body back.
That's fun.
Yeah, I wish we could have gotten more of that.
I know, I did too. It was a lot of fun.
Feel free to recycle the character concept.
Oh, I will. If Groblith dies, Jack O'Lantern is coming back.
That's funny because I was about to say if Cade dies in Terance's game, I have a Hexblade Warlock concept that I would like to play.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, whoever dies first gets to be the Warlock because Kevin said that too. I've said that, and now Frakes has said that.
Warlock is just a fun class in 5th edition.
It is.
It was kind of boring in 3rd.
I don't even remember it in 3rd edition or in Pathfinder.
It was never in Pathfinder. It was in a splat book for 3.5.
Okay.
Terance, you posted a link, was it months ago, about a playable Pathfinder Warlock that was kind of...
Yeah, I found a really good adaptation of the 3rd edition one that actually added a little bit more, made it more in line with the way the Pathfinder classes work. I'll have to dig it up if you want to see it.
But I like the Eldritch Blast because then you can that's your bread and butter. You blast things with magic.
You blast it.
But it was a lot of fun because I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take the feat that lets me use it and be accurate at 300 feet away. And then it lets me knock characters back if it hits. So it's like, if I'm a spell sniper. I fucking open my jack mouth and a candle lights up and I hit you with the blast at 300 feet away and can knock you back. We were doing a chase scene in Terance's game, and I actually got to use it because there was something like casting spells from a while away, and I climbed on top of a building and fucking hit her, and she ran off.
Yeah, if I ever played a warlock, it would be like either a dwarf or a gnome that's really short and tubby with a balding head and glasses. And look like just like Danny DeVito, basically. And that way I say, whenever they ask me what I do, I'm like, anyway, I start blasting.
Oh, meme characters.
Yes, pure meme character.
See, I think that 5th edition is much more like story driven.
I don't know. It's pretty wedded to fucking the combat grid. All 5th edition, all D&Ds have been though.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean like it is designed to be more for improv and more for character stories and less about the nuts and bolts and the nitty gritty of dungeon crawling. Like the idea of, I can do, whatever pops into my head to do, and the DM's going to say whether or not I get advantage on it. You don't have to go, okay, well, because I've got this feat and because I have this trait and this ability, I can add a +5 to this. And that gives me a 18 on the die, a 30 to do what I'm trying to do. It's like, oh, okay, well, I've got these small amounts of skills and I want to do this with my action economy. I don't know. It just seems more for improv and...
Well, that's something like I think it's just a player mindset. Like all these games can work that way. Like just because something is not on your character sheet does not necessarily mean you cannot do it. Like in any game,
except for certain skills that you
except for certain, except for like no. See, you're doing it again.
I mean, there are certain skills that you can't roll untrained, right?
Well, maybe, but there are also skills that might substitute for them or say, hey, do I just know how to do something like this? If it's something silly or simple, why I don't I don't believe in making people roll for shit that's inconsequential. I don't like it. It's dumb.
See, I'm on the
It's-
opposite of that. I love making people roll for things that are inconsequential just to keep them on their toes.
Yeah, but it wastes time. I'd rather just get on to the actual
I get
adventure
that.
part of the adventure. But if it's like, hey, I want to do this, is there a way for me to do that? A player asked me that. I instead of reflexively saying no, I think about it for a moment, and I'm like, well, okay, I suppose there could be a way to do it within your oeuvre.
You mean you yes and the
No,
situation?
no, I don't. Yes, and the situation. I say,
Yeah, you can do that.
Maybe.
you accept and expand.
Sure, I get. I don't know what the fuck you're talking
Quit
about.
talking about his butthole.
These are improv rules. You have to follow these rules for improv. That's my point.
Nobody
Yes.
likes improv.
Yes, and
It's the lamest form of comedy.
See, now you're just no butting me,
Huh?
and that's not improv.
What? No butting. I'm turning you into Toker
No, but see,
because he's got no butt.
oh,
now you're just attacking the man's. You're body shaming him.
No, not body shaming him. I'm describing his buttlessness. I hope. I knew he was listening. I knew it.
if people that can't see, Toker decided to pop in after that comment because he's hosting a meeting.
It hurts because it's true. Bye.
Classic.
But my point is that okay, yes, if you want to use a stupid improv rule about it, I never say no. I say how about.
Oh yeah, you do that. You do like, well, how about you do blank and blank? Now I will say 2 of my favorite characters that I've ever played is from your game, Terance, Jack-o'-lanterns, and Groblith is like one of my other favorite characters. Especially now that I have that shell or whatever, pauldron, that lets me create a pillar of water, and now I'm an alligator that can kick your ass in the water. That's so awesome.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I feel like everybody's like, my character sucks. I'm like, my character's awesome. You guys suck.
Well, I think everybody thinks their character sucks is because they're in this.
Because you're 4th level, everybody kind of sucks.
Well, they're in the mindset of what a
Oh, wait,
Pathfinder cleric or a Pathfinder rogue or a Pathfinder whatever. They have that preconceived notion. Fifth edition fighter, it does not have the same like strictures that Pathfinder does. It is much more free.
I guess. I don't know. From what I could tell, 5th edition fighter owns Pathfinder fighter at 4th level.
Oh yeah, at low level, I like Cade. I like playing him. I like his mechanic. But I'm still 5th edition offers more outlets for creativity. It offers more need for creativity. You have to be more creative within that system. Pathfinder, these are the things that you do. I'm not a creative person.
Well,
I need that structure.
not that there isn't a culture of optimization. There are 5th edition optimization boards, and they come up with some sick, weird shit. But not by using a minimum amount of feats and just the dedicated application of multi-classing and stacking abilities is basically.
Sorlakaden.
I think that's my least favorite thing about 5th Ed is kind of the lack of feats.
Mm-hmm.
I know not that they're not good, but it's like in Pathfinder,
you can't customize with your feats.
Yeah,
Feats are very painful to take.
Yeah.
Because you miss out on your stat bonuses. It's like
There's
that's
a
the only
high
thing
cost.
I don't like about it much either. But
That's fair because
it's the way the game is balanced, so that's the way we're doing it.
the way I feel about Pathfinder is if you can think of something, you can make it. It may not be good, but you can make it.
It will be quite silly.
Looking at the
i.e.
Oozemorph, I've been trying to make an Oozemorph for years, and I can't find a way to make it good. I just can't. I've been trying. I want to be.
Is that where you would turn into a blob of ooze?
It is. It's a really cool character concept. It just fucking sucks because you can't use magic items. You can't wear armor. You like it's just.
Oh, it's very that time I got reincarnated as a slime anime.
If like I feel like you could at least put the magic items in your goo body and use them then. I could accept the not being able to use armor stuff.
So why would you need armor? You're an ooze.
Yeah.
You're amorphous.
And that's like your natural state.
Mm-hmm.
I've also thought it'd be really dumb to make a Kitsune ooze morph. So you have 3 different forms.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. You're just like a make sure you're like a what is it? A red panda kitsune. That way you can be a gummy bear.
Meme character.
Gummy bears
There he is.
bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Oh, Disney. Is
it Disney? Oh, I
yes,
guess
it's
it is
fucking Disney.
Well, that wasn't even 7 seconds.
I, for one, welcome our new Disney overlords.
Now you better because it's either them or Nestle, and frankly,
Yeah.
At least
you're
Disney, when they piss on you, they'll call it rain.
Yeah.
Nestle's just like, eat my piss, eat my piss. Nobody deserves
Eat
water.
eat my piss, shit face.
The only water you'll get is from the tip of my dick. And you got to pay for it. How about that?
Why don't you wash my balls? I own you. All right.
With what water, Nestle? With what water?
Water you must buy from me for my balls.
That's why I support Aquafina, the best tasting bottled water.
Ugh, God.
I don't
Aquafina's
care.
disgusting.
Aquafina is the best tasting bottled water. Y'all can suck my
It
dick.
is not.
It has a little bit of tang on the sides of the tongue that feel really nice.
That's called salt, and it makes you thirstier.
Yes, it's a Coke product, and they want to sell more of it.
Aquafina is Pepsi. Dasani is Coke.
Is that?
I
Oh,
think
yeah, that's
so.
right. That's right. I don't know.
Oh, what am I thinking? Yeah, I was thinking of Dasani. Dasani's revolting.
Now I need to.
I'm not a big fan of Dasani. Also, I have Noob Show has its first sponsor, and I would like to give a quick
Give a
shout
shout
out
out to Smart Water.
No. Our first sponsor is Miss Mahogany Patterson. The Valent, I don't know how to say that. VALENTINEVONZIP on Fiverr. She colors photos, and she did one of my grandfather and my grandmother and the person that raised her Mac. And it's just beautiful. It's just amazing to see how now they have color again, to see close to 50 years ago. So if you want a black and white photo colored, contact Mahogany on Fiverr. I will be putting a link in the description because we love Mahogany.
Well, I mean, I don't know her. I've never met this person you're talking about. The name sounds familiar. Like...
We all love Mahogany. She's but no, and it's only $5. $5 for a photo.
That's pretty cool.
Good, she does. Yeah, it's amazing. Shout out to Mahogany.
Ooh, yes,
she's doing that.
Anything else? This might actually have to be a shorter episode because we all kind of have to get ready for.
Yeah, I gotta go get my gin and my tonic and some ice because I'm cheating today on my diet. I've already had like an enormous fucking thing of nachos.
Hey man, party!
And-
If you're gonna
and we-
cheat,
and-
do it.
And we got a chocolate cake in the fridge.
There you go. That's how you cheat. I was going to go get some traditional 4th of July food, sushi.
Ramen and cheap beer.
It was actually going to be what is it called? The stir fry udon, sakiyaki.
Sounds fine. Whatever it is.
I got a really great Japanese place like 5 minutes down the road, but it takes them 20 minutes to get there, and I don't want to start late, so I'll just be eating some chips and salsa, I guess.
Sorry, you agreed to
No,
this.
it's fine. I forgot. I forgot that we were starting this early. I would have gone and got my food previously.
No, it's really weird rolling dice while the sun is out. Makes me uncomfortable.
I like it. I love it. Sundays used to be my gaming day.
Yeah.
And we would start around 11 or 12. We'd have a big lunch, have like a potluck lunch, and then we'd wrap up around 5. That's a good 4 hours. And it was good. It was nice. I'd still get up and go to work the next morning without any issues.
My favorite thing when we gamed at the Dragon was before game going to Mai Tai, and they would know my order.
Yeah, I could go for some pad thai.
I would get pork belly sisig, po phai zod, which is a very phallic spring roll. Like, it is just like a cock, and it is delicious. And I'll dip it in that sauce all day.
All the best foods are cock shaped.
Yeah, deep fried cock shape. That's what we want.
And I'd always get a bottle of sake because I could drink it during while I was eating, have a nice buzz through game, and be good to go back home.
Ryan asked if we were going up there and doing any gaming at the Dragon anytime soon. I'm like, I don't know. But we might want to dip in and just have something one night.
Yeah, I miss going up to the Dragon, and I miss Ryan.
Yeah.
Speaking of food that's not at all what we were talking about, have y'all ever had Puerto Rican mofungo?
No, I use protection.
Yeah, I got a shot for that, but yeah.
So, okay, mofungo is plantains that are mashed, kind of like what you would do with a potato, but molded with chicken or beef or seafood or whatever inside of it, folded into a ball and deep fried.
I'd fuck that up. It sounds great.
I have yet to try it, but it sounds delicious. My brother was telling me about it.
The second best foods are ball shaped.
God, I can't remember what it was called, but I was listening to a podcast called Hot Dogs and Caviar. It's with a chef I work with. Awesome podcast. Go listen to those guys if you like food. But he had a girl from Austria, and she was leaving. He was like, "Hey, we're making a family meal. What do you want for family meal?" And she said, "Fleischnudeln," which roughly translates into flesh noodle. No, I'm thinking of the wrong dish. But what you do is you pretty much make pierogi dough, and the insides are just stuffed with salted pork.
Oh,
It's delicious. The other thing I was thinking of, I don't know what it's called, but what you do is you take whole leaf sauerkraut and you make like a dumpling, like a pork dumpling with rice in it, and you roll it like stock and stuff, and you bake it, and they apparently are delicious, and I want it now.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
I didn't know they made whole leaf sauerkraut.
I didn't either. I thought it was always shredded.
Where do you even get that? I guess you probably have to order it.
There is a Russian supermarket somewhere in West Ashley that sells whole leaf sauerkraut.
Oh, grab a jar.
If I ever know where it's at, I'm probably never going to go there. Probably be easier just to make it yourself, honestly.
He's afraid of Russians, everybody. Noob is terrified of Russians. If you want to scare him, just send him pictures of Vladimir Putin.
Well, I mean, that scares me too.
Or Yakov Smirnov.
I drank vodka, thank you. I'm not scared of Russians. In fact, my daily drink at work is a Russian STD.
I think you were talking about Sarma, weren't you?
Yes, that's what it's called. Sarma.
Yeah, it's Balkan, not Russian.
Balkan?
Polish, Russian, French, German, and Ukrainian dish.
All the same.
Russian. All kind of overlap.
Yeah. When I say Russia, I include all of Eastern Europe. Let me be frank.
Oh, so you mean Soviet Union?
Yeah. Comrade.
Russia.
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry.
The CCCR.
My parents were products of the '80s.
CCCR. That's a band.
Oh God.
Don't go around tonight.
And then I want to eat Peruvian food because Peruvian food sounds awesome. I don't mind eating a guinea pig.
Or llama.
Oh, llama too.
I had when I first got into my own apartment and I was living with people that I went to church with. One of my roommates was Peruvian, and I went over to his house for dinner, and holy shit, Peruvian food is delicious.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever had ceviche. Not a fan of ceviche, but We didn't have guinea pig because you can't really buy guinea pigs in bulk in America.
You can. It's called PetSmart, but they frown
No,
upon that.
in bulk. You can't buy 20 guinea pigs
Like
for
$6.
a family dinner.
Yeah, they're like $6 at PetSmart.
No, they're 15. They're 15 a piece.
Well,
So
it's
20 times 15, that's
That's a hefty price.
It's a
for just
luxury item here.
$50.
Okay?
A
Like
humble
crab
meal
legs.
of guinea pig.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up. I want to get some booze before we start gaming.
We'll wrap it up, Terance. Close out the show.
All right, hey everyone, thanks for listening to Noob Show. And if you ever calls me a bitch again, I'm gonna take those stupid cat ears and shove them up his fucking ass. Anyway, check out our links in the description of the show. To all our other podcasts and of Patreon. Also, make sure you check out Mahogany's Fiverr if you want to get some color touch-ups and photo stuff done. I don't
Does
remember
photo work. She's really good at it.
Right, that. And
She's also the one who does all our thumbnail
Yeah,
pictures. So
she's
got quality skills, y'all.
And if you want to aid Frakes for whatever the hell's wrong with him, you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to me filled with $5, and I will send nothing back to you. But I really like collecting self-addressed stamped envelopes. Thanks for showing.
And $5.
See ya.